right, so gotta hop into this here. Usually I'm more set up for this.
Move around.
Hey, how's it going? Starting a little late today. Just was waiting for a few people to join us, but we're live now. And you had to work on your makeup, right? You know, you just got off of tutoring.
I worked all day. I didn't even feel like putting makeup on.
So we're joined by some pretty good guests today.
You wouldn't know it because there are no faces on our screen.
I know, it's fine. Though. Oh, well, there's one.
Faces.
Yeah, so today we're going to recap the year of pro wrestling. We're going to kind of do this as our season finale and take the next couple of weeks off. And hey,
we haven't been on in like forever.
Well, we did the XFL show a couple weeks ago.
Have you called that a season?
We get a Go Blue.
A Go Blue? Oh.
I hope they win.
Yeah. So we're gonna recap the year of pro wrestling, and I'm gonna go around and introduce our guest here, an old high school friend back in Las Vegas from Cheyenne High School. Marcus, you want to go ahead and just kind of introduce yourself?
You basically did already, now.
But don't you do something kind of cool on Instagram?
Yeah, I do toy photography. I ain't got nothing set up though. I just got those set up. Oh, yeah, how this camera work.
Is that the IC title?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So what is your Instagram so people can check it out?
Bean Figures 2, I think. I'm not
Bean
sure.
Figures 2. Yeah.
I'll have to send it, like put it somewhere.
Yeah, I'll find the link and I'll put it in the comments. And then we're joined by A-Train from the X Fan Show.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh, there it is. And of course, you joined us for the XFL show. So for those that didn't catch that show or know who you are, you want to go ahead and do a quick introduction?
I mean, just like Marcus said, he pretty much told everybody what I do. I'm a co-host of the X Fan Show with Dirty. Do a show Tuesday and Thursdays on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and also we do a Wednesday night locally based for the city of St. Louis. Do the Feel the Top show. So we just kind of keep Battlehawk fans informed on that Wednesday night. And I know lately I haven't been able to do it because I've been working and stuff. So Dirty's been holding it down. And I know I held it down Thursday while he was out. So it's basically what I got going on with the XFL stuff.
Yeah, you've been really busy driving those business people around, right?
All day, every day.
All day, every day. And then, of course, my oldest son, Shane, is joining us today. He's a wrestling fan, and he's kind of been keeping track of everything going on in pro wrestling.
The stuff that we don't watch, don't have time to watch, can't watch.
So, Shane, you want to give a hello there?
Hello, everybody. I don't have a camera, unfortunately. So, yeah, you're just going to have to see this gray icon here. But, yeah, like they said, I love pro wrestling. Absolute nerd for it, and I don't care.
So let's start off with kind of some of the stories that happened this year. What do you guys think was the biggest story to come out of 2022 in pro wrestling? And I guess I'll start with you, Arlington.
No question, the Bloodline. It was probably the best thing that happened for Roman Reigns, him actually being a heel, him having Paul Heyman by his side. They ran the entire year. It hadn't stopped. It's not going to stop as as we close out the year. But you have to understand also the addition of Sami Zayn. Like 2022 has been a hell of a year for him. And so nobody expected Sami Zayn to jump into the bloodline, and it actually works. So that's kind of been a big thing, especially WWE side. It's working. I didn't ever think that a faction like that would have that much sustainability all year.
Yeah, let alone Roman holding the belt for going over 2 years now, huh?
Almost
500 and something days.
Yeah, he's almost there.
Yeah. So
forgive me, I'm gonna be a little unprofessional while you're doing the show. So I haven't ate all day, so I do apologize.
Oh no, that's fine. That's
fine.
So what about outside of WWE? What do you think some of the bigger stories have been?
Obviously, that CM Punk incident, all that going down.
It was a lot of talk, and we still don't have an answer for it.
I know they're being coy, like either he's in the company or he's not in the company, and like you hearing like some people saying he's out of the company, and then you have people that are saying that
It's
maybe
a work.
it's a work. I'm not sure.
I don't know either. Nobody said anything about anything. Like there's been no heat on it since then. The Elite didn't come out and say anything. Like it's not in
when the Elite,
but it's not an Elite fashion not to say something.
When in their first match, when they came back from suspension, I don't know, there was people that caught the trolling, like when Kenny Omega bit was it Penta, I think it was. It was kind of like a troll to that incident.
He tried,
and then the hair pulling that happened in that match.
The buckshot lariat that he botched on purpose.
I mean, like little things, but they're usually a little bit more explicit. I mean, like there was a lot more of an implicit like reaction to it, and like only people that are crazy fans would have guessed. Like the buckshot lariat wouldn't have meant anything to me. Like until you said something about it. Like I'm a fan, but I guess I'm not far enough. I don't know.
Right.
I wouldn't have.
And without going too deep into the whole like CM Punk politics thing, whether you like him or you don't like him, I do believe that there was some truth to what Punk was saying. I mean, he called out the dirt sheets.
Well, isn't there always a little bit of truth to what he says, though? Like, I mean, he's not afraid of dropping the pipe bombs. Like, I think we expect it.
Yeah, and lately, if you've been following Chris Jericho has been calling out the dirt sheets. Mark, if you want to say something?
I don't know. I don't really watch AEW that much, so I'm not really keen on what's going on. I've seen the videos where they did the whole shots at CM Punk with the buckshot lariat. I've seen them videos, but I don't really watch AEW like that.
Yeah, I mean, we watch AEW pretty regularly here, and we have been for the last couple of years because, when Vince was running WWE, it was just not watchable. But now Triple H has turned it around.
We watch it more, but I don't think we watch it nearly as much as we watch AEW.
Yeah, I mean, I think when Cody comes back, we'll probably watch it more because, I mean, I'm a fan of Cody.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I look at it like this. AEW, when it first came out, it was the hottest thing on the planet. I wasn't suspecting it to be so. There's going to be some rinky-dink kind of promotion. Then you start getting big names into the mix. When Jericho came in, I mean, it solidified that was going to be legit. But over this last year, Tony Khan has it's just my opinion, but Tony Khan is starting to look more like Billionaire Ted was when his era of WCW. And I'm starting to see more WCW-like stuff in AEW. And of course, everybody knows AEW's on TNT and TBS and whatnot. Right now, you can't sit here and tell me that the best thing that's going on for AEW is Chris Jericho winning the Ring of Honor World title. No, it's actually Jade Cargill still TBS champion. That's the best thing that they have going on for them right now on AEW.
And that's because they ignore a lot of the other stuff. Like it's just not happening. Like
so they put Jade. They put Jade above it so they can make it seem like it is everything else. The distraction can just slowly cease away. So they built up Jade. There's nothing wrong with that. That's good, but it's supposed to be for a more positive way of putting it. You know, it just looks sad at this point.
Yeah,
I guess I better let her out.
I do think though going forward, and I want to kind of save this towards the end on what we expect in pro wrestling next year. But I do expect a turnaround for AEW next year, especially now that Tony Khan is putting people in place backstage to kind of help relieve the pressure all on him. Love him or hate him, Jeff Jarrett has a mind for the business. And I think that was one of the best hires for AEW, at least in a backstage role.
Take him off of TV then. I don't want to watch him.
Look, he doesn't need to be on TV, all right? He always appears when you don't need him. Every time. Never fails.
I feel like he has the capacity for doing other things. Like, why does he have to have 15 minutes of the spotlight? Like, I just want to be seen again. Like, who cares? Like, no, you're irrelevant on stage.
Couldn't hit that nail on the head any better. Couldn't hit that nail on the head. Jeff Jarrett don't need to be on TV anymore.
Right. I mean, that's why I said, look, backstage he has a great mind for the business.
Then,
but on TV,
promote people where they need to be promoted. This is my problem with almost everything in the world. It's like, don't just put people where they want to be. Put people where they're good.
Right. And I mean, I think I kind of see what they're doing with Jarrett and Jay Lethal with the with the Acclaim. I think we're going to see them push the Acclaim more.
I wish they'd hurry up because.
And as we're looking at some of the best stories of the year, can we talk about the Acclaim as a tag team between them and also FTR having a great year? You have people that complain that the Usos, it's always the Usos. But if you look at the year that the Acclaim and FTR had, I think it was a great year for both teams.
I think comparing tag team in WWE to comparing tag team in AEW is slightly apples to oranges. Like I feel like the tag team division in AEW is better than the tag team division in WWE. And I might get some hate for that, but I don't see a lot of the tag teams in WWE other than the Usos. Like it's Uso this and Uso that, and nobody else really matters. And
I think the reason why that's the case is because you gotta remember the Usos have went through a lot of stuff away from WWE.
True.
And they never had, a true shine where they've had the belts for a lengthy period of time. And so, that the reason why they're getting it now and you see them so much is the reason why the New Day, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on with me today. It's the reason why the New Day has pretty much propelled them and pushed them is because they were taking a step back. That's why they're in NXT now and they won the tag team titles. It's to make sure that the Usos continuously get their shine. That's the reason why they got the lengthy period for them.
Yeah. And there is a team that we do like. I like the Street Profits. I think they're a great team in WWE. And I wish,
but
the beginning of the year, I thought they had a pretty good run. But that's what
I'm saying is we don't see them as often in anything other than Comic Relief. And I don't, it makes people, it delegitimizes people when you just make them the Comic Relief or the, like the gimmick. Like they oftentimes get the party gimmick or the, they're just like I don't like that. Like, they're good wrestlers. Put them in the mix.
Ones that take the belts from the Usos.
But right, if you really look at it right now, who can really take the belts off of the Usos?
It's gonna be Sammy and KO.
You think Sammy's going to turn on the bloodline and align with KO?
Yeah.
As many times as Sami Zayn has taken hits from KO, I wouldn't even hold my breath with that.
I think it's all a setup between Sammy and KO already.
Now, I understand that. Now, I do understand that. Bringing in KO back into the mix has been good. I know Sammy and KO have worked together for a long period of time.
Your best friends.
That does seem, plausible. So then with that said, Marcus, who would you think would be the person to take the belt off of Roman Reigns?
It would have to be either Cody or Seth.
I'd see more Cody than Seth.
Yeah, Cody would win the Royal Rumble.
Now that's a good early prediction right there.
See, but if we're talking about the Royal Rumble, what are the chances, let's say someone like Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble and puts the bloodline against themselves?
They never said you had to go for the heavyweight title for the Royal Rumble win. Sammy could flip it and say, we want the tag titles.
But you never know. It could be, it could be like, oh, I want to go for this title, but let's say there's a story where they try to, like, let's say Kevin Owens tries to push Sammy to take the belt off of Roman or try to,
It'll be a break in the bloodline. I think something happened where they jumped Sammy. Kevin Owens will run out helping. They'll get the titles. Roman Reigns will think he's still big shit because he got my bad about cussing, but
it's all right.
He'll think he's still big and talk down to him.
But you also got to think you have the Elimination Chamber show in Canada.
Have to build at WrestleMania. He won't have to build at WrestleMania. That's going to set up him.
Usually, Elimination Chamber. It's got to depend on whatever happens to them, either personally or something just not sitting right in a storyline where they'll change titles, change hands for titles. And if nothing is working, the belt will remain in the same place that it's always been in. Because right now they say they have a Fab Five of big events for WWE pay-per-views. That's Rumble, that's Mania, that's now Money in the Bank, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam. Yeah, they've added, which I still don't understand why Money in the Bank is considered that, but I digress. But my thing is, what'd you say?
They got to get rid of the Money in the Bank show and put that match back on WrestleMania.
Just make it one match.
He was going
to just like Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make Extreme Rules, then it needs every match needs to be extreme.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, and y'all, we're pushing out this PG era. If you haven't really noticed, they're towing the lines. And who would have ever thought? This is the thing for 2022 that everybody should see here. Who would have thought the Generation X would legitimately take over WWE?
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, I mean the only person that they're missing over there is Billy Gunn.
Yes, exactly. Who would have? But Billy, I think Billy really pissed at Paul. I think that's why he moved over, or it may have been Vince. And you got it's guilt by association at that point. Yeah, I think there's something going on with that. There's a rift between them, is why he went over there.
Well, from what I think Billy Gunn is in the same situation as William Regal. I think William Regal, when he got fired this year by Vince and ended up in AEW, because he wanted to be with his friend, Bryan Danielson. But when Triple H took over, Regal's always been a Triple H guy, like from the beginning of his hiring at NXT. His son is there in NXT, and he wants to be with his son and watch his son progress, I think. And Triple H is bringing William Regal back in a backstage role. Billy Gunn is in that situation at AEW. He wants to be with his sons, I think.
I think that there's this point at which you realize that you need to mentor where mentoring needs to be done. And I think that if you could bring together a faction like the Blackpool Combat Club, and you build those people up to take on roles to legitimately like put other guys over to the caliber that Jericho can do, then you have a bunch of people who can help like raise the bar for these guys that are coming in. And I think it's important to, be where you need to be. Like, granted, his son is there, but maybe he found it where, he doesn't need to be at W or AEW anymore. Like, I think he said what Triple H just said, and what, it's not about necessarily competition. It's about helping everybody have an opportunity to do what they want to do. Like, you have something for everyone. If you predominantly watch AEW, there's a reason why you watch AEW. There's a reason why you watch WWE. There's a reason why you watch NXT. Like, if you like the new guys, you tend to watch NXT because you want to listen. You want to hear about the guys off the indie circuit. Like, you want to hear new talent. That's fine. If you watch everything, it's because you want to watch everything. Like, you're connoisseurs of wrestling. And I think that that's what makes this last couple of years great, is that it's given us an opportunity to expand our wrestling horizons and see different things. Plus, being able to see people in Japan, like we were just talking, how we don't get to watch much of the Japanese wrestling because we can't stay up that late, or we just don't have the capability of getting whatever pay-per-views or whatever. So, like, Regal said something about good wrestling is good wrestling. And I think Triple H thinks that too. Like, does he want his company to succeed? Of course. But he understands, I think, to a different level than Vince.
Yes.
About, who needs a shot and who doesn't. The same tired gimmicks don't always work anymore. Like, you have to rise above and change things and be different.
Yeah. I've always said Triple H had a better mind than Vince. Vince has the like promoter mind. Triple H is coming in after shadowing Vince for many years. He has that mind, but becoming into that role as a professional wrestler himself, that's the difference.
Well, and I think you take a different angle towards things too. Like, if you want to be everything, if you want to be the CEO and the booker and the whatever, like, that changes how you're going to do things on the show. So that's why WWE is different than AEW, because we can talk about AEW booking, but at the same time, it's like there's too many people, like there's too many cooks in the kitchen. And so not everybody gets airtime. So then stories don't get told. And so if that's what you like about WWE is this arc, then you're not getting that in AEW necessarily. And I think that that's a lot of people's issues with AEW, is that there are too many people and you go a long time without seeing people.
Yeah. And then I know with like NXT, ever since Shawn Michaels has been put in charge of there, the show's kind of turned around. It's never going to be the black and gold that NXT was. Like, from what I would say 2017 to like
19, 20.
19, yeah, like right around
20,
there. Like when Adam
20,
Cole came in, that was like
Before
well, even
pandemic.
like even when NXT like had their first pay-per-view, damn it, the main event was the ladder match with Neville and Bo Dallas, and it was a 4-way. That match was excellent, and that was in what, 2015 ish,
14 maybe.
Yeah,
14, 15.
But that's when a lot of people got introduced to what is known as now PAC. But yeah, NXT I don't think could get to that level again. But I would love for it to get to that level. I mean, Shawn Michaels is doing great over there. And then Road Dogg, I believe, is in charge of live events.
I think so.
That's all the touring and stuff.
I mean, I don't hate any of it that's on TV. You know, like I think that they're trying to put the best products out there as they can with what they have. But they all have to be willing
the
to
troops about to
change.
come on.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Tribute of the troops come on today, don't it?
Tribute of the Troops comes on today.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with that.
But I mean, like I don't hate. I mean, Triple H has never said that he wouldn't pay attention to AEW, and AEW has never said that they wouldn't work with WWE. It's being willing to transverse those doors.
Right. And Triple H, this is what I like. Triple H said in multiple interviews, like when Vince was in charge, that Triple H was open to working with other promotions. And we're kind of seeing that this year. Like the Royal Rumble, was it this year? Mickie James, signed with Impact. She came out to her Impact theme song, had her Impact Championship, and it even said it on the card, which was really cool. I mean, Vince was still in charge at that time, but I think Triple H kind of had little.
But I think that even Vince knows when good things are good things. Okay, so Braun Strowman. When you think about it, like I never expected him to go back to WWE.
I did. The minute that Triple H took over, excuse me, I like to say real names here. The minute that Paul took over and was heading over, he was going back because he's a Paul guy.
Yeah.
And so he saw a lot of them. That's why Bray Wyatt is back. Like, not to me really understand, like, he was on ice for a minute because they had no real place to put him.
Yeah.
Even when Vince was there. And so now that he's back, it's going to be a slow burn. A lot of people want Bray to take the title off of Roman Reigns, not Cody. Because he never really got a full championship run.
Well, I think with Cody, he doesn't want both belts. He only wants the WWE Championship. That's the only title that matters to him.
Yeah, because it's
universal
because of its lineage.
Well, it's the principle behind it. It's like his dad never got to hold that title.
Right.
And I think when you're a legacy, you kind of think about those things. And if my kids followed in my footsteps, I would want them to have the same. I would want them to have a better time. I would want them to have more than what I had. And that would be, I think, the pinnacle of even Cody's career, really. Like, because Cody never held the title either, right?
No, he's held tag team,
Intercontinental,
and I believe
a U.S. title too. I think.
Yeah.
Did he hold the European title? I think they still had the European title at that time that he was there, because he was there in the early 2000s when Randy first came. They might have
like right after he did, right after him and Cena.
So, I mean, when you think about it, I think honestly, I mean, there's a point at which you're like, can I do this?
Yeah.
And this is a notch in the belt loop that I want to have.
Yeah.
For himself and for his dad.
Yeah. And just to kind of piggyback on what Marcus was saying about what if Sami Zayn won the Royal Rumble, I like that idea. I also like the idea that Cody is not even in the Rumble. We can still get The Rock and Roman at WrestleMania night one. Have Roman go over The Rock, because that's what The Rock should do. And then have Roman the next night come out as the champion and do a promo saying nobody's left. And then if you listen to Cody's music, the opening thing says there's more than one royal family in professional wrestling, and have Cody just come out and challenge Roman right then and there. That would be a good setup for WrestleMania.
Is Cody going to be able to come back by then?
Because Cody's supposed to be out 9 months. And I think Royal Rumble might still be too soon.
Hey, knowing if we know what we know about how injuries have occurred, now we say Bayley took a whole year to get herself together.
Yeah, but you got to remember he did that Hell in a Cell match with Seth, and I'm sure that added to the injury. And kudos to Cody because that was a hell of a match. And we'll jump into best matches of the year.
Even though I wanted to vomit every time
everybody did. Everybody was like, "Oh."
I mean, like, I can't even.
Apparently, Seth didn't see what Cody looked like until Cody took the jacket off, and so Seth even was like,
"What the hell?
You got balls."
It's like I should just lose this on principle. Like I just lay down now. But I mean, when push comes to shove, like it's important for people to get better. Like I don't know if you guys watched Dark Side of the Ring, but we watched Dark Side of the Ring, The Confidential, about the Von Erichs. And I was like, see, when you push yourself to a limit and you can't get better and you rely on all of the prescriptions and all of this other, like you listen to the other stuff that's happening, if you don't let yourself get better, you're never back in shape. You're never 100%.
Yeah, because then you have like all the fans and you have all the media in your ear. You
rushed it, and now you're not as good. And then everybody calls you out on, whatever. So I think it's smart for him to be away, but it's also smart for us to continue to hear little things, like he has been in little things, like he is. Like we hear about it and we speculate. And I think that that's what keeps him relevant, even when he is out. Because It used to be that if you were out, you were irrelevant and nobody cared about you again until you got back in the ring.
Yeah. In one of his posts, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, he said that he'll be at the factory in January and people can actually come and train with him personally there. I want to say the factory is in Atlanta, where he lives.
But
so let's talk about some of the great matches of the year, and I'll go with you, Marcus. I know you don't watch AEW, so what in WWE or anything else, maybe Impact, what do you think were some of the best matches of the year?
It's gonna sound funny, but that Sami Zayn and who was it? The dude from Jackass,
Johnny Knoxville.
At WrestleMania.
That was a fun match.
Then was it Gunther and Sheamus? They had that was a brutal match. There's been a lot of good matches now that Triple H took over, though, so it's kind of hard to break down one of the best matches of the year. You could throw the Cody and Seth in there. That was a good match. You could put even the Seth and Brock with the whole tractor lifting up the ring thing was very entertaining. That was good.
No, that was Roman.
It was Roman.
Yeah, Roman. Yeah, Brock and Roman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I won't hate on that because it was the first time that I saw that Brock actually had a personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all watch the show, I hate Brock Lesnar. I'm so sorry. Like,
hey,
I will say I do like this new Brock, and I never really enjoyed Brock before.
Yeah, this whole like cowboy Brock, like
he's got a personality now.
Yeah, like if you remember, was it last year when he was still with Paul? The whole like coming out with the boombox. I mean, you kind of it's like he was kind of like there was a little bit of the personality there of Brock. I've never been a Brock guy. Like I don't know. I don't see the appeal like in him. I mean,
I just see him. He's lackluster in everything he does. Like I just don't.
But he's box office numbers.
He's good in the ring. I'm
so sorry.
I just don't see the story like telling from him.
But it's not even about that. It's box office numbers.
Yeah.
He knows, love him or hate him, you showing up when he comes out.
Yeah.
The minute you hear doo-doo, 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 it's electric. It happened back in, golly, it was 10 years ago when he first returned, when he made his return.
Yeah, when he interrupted John Cena, right?
Yes, and how electric that was. You know, every now and again, go back and watch WWE's top 10 biggest pops, right? And that was like top 5. Brock Lesnar returning. That was because not a lot of people expected that. Of course, you know, The Rock returning in 2011, you know, when he was doing WrestleMania was cool. But when Brock came out and you heard his music and it took a delay for him to come out, like everybody was hyped that moment that you heard his music. Yeah. So he's box office numbers. There's no other way to put it. Yeah. He's going to bring the money to the table. And Triple H know that too.
Talking about returns, what about after 19 years, Stone Cold returning at WrestleMania and still looking good?
Well, in this, like what Terry says is he says people seem every angle has to pay off right away. Some fans like to invest in some stories, and now he says it doesn't mean that we need the same match every week for 8 months. Like, I do think there are some things that get played out too much. You know, we talk about The Rock and we talk about Roman. We mean, well, this is the match that has to happen. Well, why does it have to happen? Like, they could string us along for as long as it could take.
Right. The reason for that is because this is about who's the true head of the table. And like Brian, I think Brian said it, that Rock needs to put Roman over. And to solidify him as the head of the table. And he was like, well, what sense would that make? It showcased, it's a story. It's about the stories.
Yeah. And if you know the story and if you know why it's an investment in the fans, I mean, like,
and if you understand
it's
that
like
family,
if you understand the family, but a casual viewer is gonna be like, well, so The Rock came back for 2 seconds, you know, like generally for most part, like I feel the same way when people just come back for a match. It's like, okay, what was the point? Like,
if that's the case, you might as well get on Cena then, because Cena's returning again.
I know. I feel the same way about Cena too. It's like as soon as my relevance in the ring seems like it's not going to happen, you know, they got to come back. It's I get it.
I do have to say though, when Cena did that video package on SmackDown talking about him coming to the SmackDown that's going to be in Tampa on December 30th, I think it is. He made Roman break character, which was funny.
I like John Cena. I like Roman Reigns. I always have. So I tend to hate the characters that people are like, oh, why are they shoving them down our throats? Like, I like those characters for whatever reason. I don't know why. I do. And so when Cena turned heel,
not
Cena. I mean,
Roman.
When Roman turned heel, I was like, ooh. But then I was like, oh, this is like really good for him. Like, I was happy that they'd given him this opportunity to be the opposite of what he really is, because he's not like that in real life, but
pairing
gave him something
with, I'm going to say
Paul
it right
Heyman.
now, Paul Heyman, who is the best in the business. He had like,
I was needs Paul Heyman.
Yeah, Paul Heyman is living today is the best in the best mind in the business.
But I feel like he also like Paul Heyman gives this like legitimacy to people. Like if he invests his time in this person, like he believes in them, and maybe that's what pushed Brock along. And then the little like feud thing they had when he switched to Roman and the head of the table, and then we flipped, you know, like
that was epic television.
So, I mean, that right there, you can see how he feels certain things need to be of relevance. Like he doesn't just pick any Bobby Joe off the street. Like he picks people that he thinks can really make this enormous jump.
Yeah.
Because Roman did.
And man, that was probably the best move Roman could have ever made. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. Get this. I wanted that 5 years prior. 5 years prior to that. Like when Seth turned on the Shield, I wanted that to be Roman. Roman should have been the guy, not Seth. But I understood why Seth was the person, because out of the three, he was the more he was a Triple H guy where he could propel to greatness. a lot quicker than Roman did. But I wanted Roman to be the guy because I believe he was better as a heel. And I didn't even think he needed to speak when he got aligned with Paul Heyman. I didn't think like Paul Heyman would just do all his talking for him like he did with Brock Lesnar initially. But then the minute you heard Roman speak, and it's how his demeanor was and how that swagger that came off of him, I'm in God mode now. Man, you sat back and you was like, this is amazing how they did this, and they worked with it. And I'm so happy that
serious, though. Like when he was a face, you couldn't take him serious.
Exactly.
This is when it started for Roman. The night after he beat The Undertaker, he came out there on Raw, and before saying anything, he just stood there, took it all in from the fans.
Yeah.
The fans booing and saying, F you, Roman, and all this. And then he says, this is my yard now.
Oh, man. I just wish he could have took it from that. And that would have been the permanent heel turn right there. But
did the same thing. His cousin did the same thing. Nobody liked the Rocky might be a Rock. But once he got that swagger and raised that eyebrow, The Rock became.
He was great as Hollywood Rock. Not a lot of people give him credit for that.
Well,
like he's done heel turns, but him as Hollywood Rock was fantastic.
Well, The Rock was in the similar, or Roman's in a similar situation as The Rock, where The Rock was paired with Ron Simmons, who was a veteran, and that was the best move for Dwayne at that time. Yeah. And now pairing Roman with Paul was the best thing for Roman. I still love that shirt. Wreck everything and leave.
Mm-hmm. I just think that, like, what Terry says in both these, well, the one before it too.
This one. Okay.
So when you say, like, I think part of the problem sometimes is that there are certain wrestlers that can't be flipped heel or face. 80s Hogan, Cena, there's people that you can't flip them because if you did, it would be an outrage.
1996 WCW.
Hogan unexpected. You're like, what?
Bash at the beach, baby. Nobody on this panel saw that coming. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody expected Hogan to turn heel that night. That Bash at the beach.
He says Hogan used a lot of heel moves, strangling his opponent with his shirt. John Cena threw the steps out of the ring and hit Bray in the face. There's a lot of heel type things, but you would never turn heel because then your fans would turn on you. So, like, talk about mind for the business. I think The Rock knew he needed to switch things up. And when he made that like, I don't know if you watched Young Rock, but when he said something about switching and, his dad was like, and so he was like, but if I do it this way, it kind of made people love to hate him. And that's what got him in the foot in the door. Like, we kind of like, oh, okay. Like, he accepted it. Yeah. Just like I accepted it when Roman turned heel. I was like, ooh, ouch. And then I was like, okay, I don't mind this so much.
So I'm going to hop over to you, Shane. What do you think were some of the best matches this year? Uh-oh. Shane, your mic's muted.
My bad. I started talking and I didn't even realize I was muted. I got a couple. One I want to mention is Gunther versus Sheamus at Clash at the Castle. Seth and Cody at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And then Wrestle Kingdom, Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay, what surprised me, because I didn't figure that because I didn't know anything about him, but there was a match he was in on AEW that I was like,
yeah,
oh wow, this guy is.
He had a great match with Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door.
That's who it was. I couldn't for the life of me. Why?
I think I see a comment by Terry, that last one. When 96 Hogan have worked in WWE in 96, I'm not sure we had the same reaction from the crowd. Remember, Sergeant Slaughter turned on the entire country.
Yeah.
You don't think that was gonna go over? Are you serious? Sergeant Slaughter literally say, "I'm not an American anymore." They booed the absolute crap out of him. Like, come on, man, that '96 Hogan would have worked, and it did though. I know they were trying to go that clean cut image, but I'm like, with the whole thing with Sergeant Slaughter, same type. It was a kiddie audience, and they booed him. It was no different like when Randy Savage turned heel or in WWF. I understand that he never denounced the U.S., but the thing is, it was a major heel turn. It was a major heel turn, and because it was a major heel turn, it caused a massive reaction.
It did, but like it kind of was the same kind of reaction because when Slaughter switched, didn't they throw stuff at him too? And they like threw when Hogan turned.
Yeah, well,
they threw stuff into the ring.
Yeah,
and
but you got to remember when Slaughter turned, we had like that real life thing going on. Yeah, so history. Slaughter, he had to watch his back in real life.
Exactly. But see what I mean? That was the thing. And that ushered in by Vince. So I understand that, Hogan 96, it did turn how wrestling was viewed. But let's not forget, Slaughter did that years prior to that, and it caused a massive reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane, did you have any more matches that you thought were really good this year? He's muted again.
None really much better than that. However, we got was it FTR versus the Briscoes, the first match they had.
That was a wild
you know what?
Match.
All three. We didn't see the third match, but
I didn't get to see the dog collar match, but I heard that was really good.
Yeah, so I would say the Briscoes and FTR, like all three matches, are kind of like a 1A, 1B, 1C, because they were
pretty classic.
Yeah, they're on my list. And then I will also say, back in March, MJF versus CM Punk's dog collar match.
That was a good match. The match itself. Say whatever you want to say about either one of them. I'm not an MJF fan, and I wasn't really a CM Punk fan either, really. I guess I did, but I didn't. But I think the matches in general, like the chemistry, between the two, I think it really worked.
And I want to say the match with Hangman Adam Page and no, actually, you know what? Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson, when their first time wrestling in AEW, after Bryan Danielson came in, they had that was it 30-minute? They went all 30 minutes.
30-minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it went to a draw. That match
ended in a draw. Yeah.
But was that this year or was that last year? I think that was last year.
I think it was last year.
I think that was at Grand Slam, was it not last year?
Okay, yeah, at Asher Park in New York. Yeah, that was last year. So what was it? Hangman and Bryan Danielson this year then, right?
Yeah, that was a pretty good match.
Yeah.
That's when I think I finally paid attention to Hangman, and I didn't.
Yeah, it was before Hangman lost the belt to CM Punk.
So I think that the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker match with the tax and that insanity, I think that was a classic match. And granted, I think when we talk about Jade being kind of like the long-standing champion, I guess, like the only long-standing champion in the company. I mean, I get it, but I just think that there were matches that got overshadowed by her being 30-0, and I just feel like she's slightly lackluster for me. Like there's so much more like personality. As much as I dislike Britt Baker, I think in the ring, in the promo capacity, like she has both things going for her. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just talking out my butt, but
I mean, honestly, that's kind of how I felt with Bianca Belair. She's gotten a whole lot better as of late in her matches. Having Bayley and Becky Lynch back is going to help her, like, in the long run.
Yeah, we love Bianca.
I love Bianca. I think she was amazing even before. I think she's fine-tuned a lot of those in-ring skills since there's been competition. Like, because people that really can compete, you know, like that really bring the wrestling. Like, I have always hated the whole like TNA aspect of things. Like, women are only women because they can dress in no clothes and, you know, run around the ring pulling hair. Like, I don't get behind that. Like, we kick ass, and so let us.
You know, I was gonna say I see her husband going solo, and I see him becoming like a big star. That dude can go.
They gotta hurry up though.
And adding to what you said, you know, about women are supposedly only there for looks and whatever. That's a lot of why I like Britt Baker, because she doesn't wrestle like that. She wrestles a lot. If you look at the way she wrestles, like
she wrestles like a wrestler.
Yeah.
And so does Bianca Belair now. Like, there's more wrestling involved in her matches.
Because she's an athlete. Let's not forget it. Bianca has an athletic body.
She has a stamina that's ridiculous too.
Exactly.
Yeah. She came from the like track and field world and stuff like that.
Tennessee.
And she's a bodybuilder.
University of Tennessee.
Yeah, that girl can move.
She just won like some competition for fitness, right?
Mm-hmm. There was just a post on her Instagram where she was
There's some body
something for a bodybuilding contest or something.
Yeah.
That woman is ripped.
Yeah.
Like, holy cripe.
Abs goals.
I mean, she's got like an 8-pack. I'm like,
kick my butt any day.
So let's talk about, what do we think is the biggest story that's like in the world of professional wrestling that's not like when we're looking at real life like stories? Is it Vince retiring, or is it the CM Punk media scrum?
Vince McMahon retiring, because we never thought it'll ever happen.
Vince.
You never saw that one coming.
I think the one that got the most like talk back maybe on the internet was the CM media scrum, but the news covered, and a lot of media online with articles covered the Vince McMahon stuff, which, granted, did he retire because he was forced into it, or did he retire because he wanted to? Like, well, if you're going to save the company, then you're going to retire because you're defaming the company.
If you believe the rumors, he says the rumors are saying he wants to come back and that he was given bad advice. That
sounds like a personal problem. That ain't my problem. That's not my problem that you got bad advice and you chose to go along with it. When you decided that was your fate. You sealed your fate.
I don't think Paul and Stephanie would let him come back.
I don't think they let him run it, because that was horrible. Like, regardless of his situation, whatever he was doing was horrible.
I would, if they choose, and I hope they don't. You are a consultant, executive consultant. That's it. You don't get any power over here. We got this. You can make suggestions, put your paper in the suggestion box, and we'll see if it works out. If that's how it's gonna go, then that's how it'll go. But other than that, we got this.
Paul could do what what Vince did to everybody. Vince can go to Paul's office and be like, "Hey, can I have a meeting?" And Paul be like, "Yeah, sure." And then forget, and Paul forgets.
I just
put Sasha Banks and Naomi in there too. That was a big story.
That was a big story. And then, Sasha's going to be at Wrestle Kingdom in January for New Japan.
Ooh. I think, this is what I think with that.
Yeah.
Because they're still getting paid by WWE as we speak. They have not been released by WWE. They just been put on ice. And I just find it interesting. Like, you keep seeing more and more photographs and stuff, them being at different events and whatnot. This is almost like they taking a whole extended vacation right now. And probably that's what it is.
Well, Naomi was there for Jade, so I don't know. Naomi was at a basketball with Jade the other day.
And they pissed. And I know there's going to be, because here's my thing. Also, Jimmy being there, and you're not going to sit there and just have them completely break apart. I get it right now. I think the only, what's that? Andrade and, of course, Charlotte. And then Charlotte being away is something else right now that people need to look at. But my thing is, with those two, I think Paul's going to get them back. It's just a matter of how and when.
See, I think if Mercedes was going to come back to WWE, it would have been already happening. My theory, and
I don't think so, though, because she's had a lot of other things happening.
Well, she's getting that Disney paycheck because she's going to be heavily featured in The Mandalorian season 3. And if Mandalorian continues on, her character is supposed to continue playing a part.
She's featured there, so maybe she might still be on the bankroll for WWE, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she'll be on TV. And that is the thing. Like, when you're pointing out that they haven't been released, we see this in AEW too. It's like if people aren't on the show, they're not released. We just haven't seen them on the show.
Well,
there are other places too. So
I think Mercedes is waiting her contract out, and I'm going to call it right now. It's going to be Mercedes and Jade at an AEW pay-per-view early next year for the TBS championship. That's who I think is going to dethrone Jade, because I don't see anything.
Hey, wait a minute. So, also not to forget, there's a rumor going around, though it has been for some time, that Disney wants WWE. Granted, right now they're with Fox, who's also coincided with Disney.
Well, if you believe what Vince Russo said about WWE Raw, he says that Vince is tank. You don't believe that? That Vince,
I don't listen to anything Vince Russo got to say.
Raw on USA just to run out the contract, because I mean, Vince said.
I mean, if that's the case, then that's the case, man. Like, they've had a great relationship with Comcast. Great relationship. Had it for years. Comcast and NBC Universal, right? And so if they choose to leave that, by far, because they were already saying they were going to move to Fox at some point. Like, you could put Raw and SmackDown on Fox and FS1. You put it on cable, you got it on FS1 Monday nights. You put it on Fox for SmackDown because Fox has nothing on Friday nights.
See, but FS1's not going to be great for ratings, though, and you got to think they're going to be competing with other. No, never mind. Hang on. I'm
about to say, because
regardless, FS1 is not the best for ratings if you're wanting to have something on Fox.
Yeah,
you don't think anybody will move? You don't think they will move from USA to FS1? Like, it's a high-profile cable network, just like USA. I understand USA is now delving more into sports. I'm seeing that lately with soccer and hockey. I think they dealt with did they do any football games? No, I don't think they did. But they starting to do more sports on their network because they used to.
Yeah,
but
USA
it won't really hurt them. It won't be anything different. It's a cable-based network.
But how many people watch FX1 other than people that watch American Horror Story?
Moving them. All you doing is moving viewers. That's it. And you moving the needle. That's all you doing. And you got it for 3 hours.
I think they should do it for 2. Raw be 3 hours be kind of long sometimes.
Yeah, and I think the reason why it's 3 hours because you got to add more talent to the mix, right? You got to make sure that all your talent is being showcased as much as possible. And granted, they'll give 30 minutes to open up the show just so it can keep eyes appealed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. So let's talk about one more story that kind of just broke recently. Mandy Rose. I'm sure you guys have some opinions about that.
I didn't look at none of the content. I swear.
I never did, but I read the story about it.
But I heard she was making like way more money than actually making it wrestling. So I would have just stuck with my naked content. F it. Like you know what I mean? Like if I'm making what was it, 176,000?
Yeah. Well, I told Nicole that Mandy Rose she would do a certain kind of rating for $30, and she would do that same rating for $55.
My question is, who the hell's paying for that?
I mean, you really ain't got to pay for it. I ain't gonna say how they look at them because I don't.
Are we talking about OnlyFans? Is that what we talking about?
I mean, there's ways you can get around it without going to OnlyFans. I ain't gonna say it online, you know. But you know.
But I mean, in all seriousness, what do you guys think of Mandy Rose as a performer? Do you think she was a good wrestler? I mean, do you think she was good for NXT? What she was doing? Arlington, looks like you want to say something.
She held that belt for what, 200 and some days or whatever.
I mean, for her to hold it in NXT, she had to be good enough to hold that. But when she was in WWE, I didn't see her. When she was on the main roster, I didn't see much. It was when she got to NXT is when I started really delving into what she was about, and she was actually doing a good job. That's what I like what they do at NXT now anyway, is allowing main roster people to come down and help out the younger talent. I think that's a great move by Sean and Paul, is putting both of them together. That's why I'm glad that it's great to see that the New Day won the tag belts in NXT. That's a great thing. People are like, why would you do that?
Because they're gonna take one of those new up and coming teams and elevate them.
Legacy. Yeah. It's a legacy thing. That's what that's about too.
Okay, so, but here's the thing. Like, I think this is what we don't understand. And I was just talking about the Mandy Rose thing. Like, WWE has a clause in their contracts about other media. So if you are doing other media, you're in breach of contract. You get fired because it's breach of contract. Right. Like, she has a right to put her body wherever the hell she wants to, except for you signed a contract not to. So it's like when you have like the non-compete clauses and all these things, like there's a reason why we have those.
Yeah. And it's harder now because WWE is a publicly traded company and they have sponsors and all that. I guess that does play a role in what happened with Mandy Rose.
So you have something to fall back on now, sweetheart. You can at least pay your rent. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm like, I 100% agree. But
and there's nothing wrong with what she was doing. I mean,
no, but what I'm saying is when you're a publicly traded company, if you signed a contract with a clause in it, if you are in professions that request a certain level of moral turpitude, then you are not allowed to do those things. So these teachers that get fired for having an OnlyFans, well, that's because you're held to a different standard. You know that when you go into teaching.
She knew that, right?
She knew that.
She knew
about it. Your contract. And just like with teachers, if you knew it was against your contract, like you filled out the application and you said you have this moral standing for blah, 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 then you knew that when you were coming in. I mean, I like it to teaching just because so many people are like, well, in order to subsidize your paycheck, you could do this. And I'm like, yeah, you could, until somebody finds you and then they fire your ass because you were doing something you shouldn't have done because morally you're not held to that same standard. And I broke my freaking tooth at some point during this show. I broke my tooth.
Oh.
So I don't know what I did, but I broke my tooth. It's just, I'm getting old because, my vision went. Now my teeth are breaking.
So
sorry, that wasn't even part of. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I keep sticking my tongue in it, and I'm like, oh.
So let's hop
I'm
into
running a
this
real
last
professional
subject
show
here.
here,
What do we expect in the year 2023 in professional wrestling? And this is for anybody who wants to start.
What was that question?
What do we expect in 2023 in professional wrestling?
Somebody taking the belt off of Roman Reigns. Somebody actually taking the belt off of him.
The downfall of the bloodline, that's gonna be like the biggest thing. Like
who is gonna infiltrate the downfall of the bloodline? Who's it gonna be?
Yeah.
How that story is gonna play out, like what's gonna happen. Somebody gotta watch Solo. Solo might play a big part too.
That guy's crazy.
Yeah.
He might mess around and
Solo's always just standing there, never says nothing. It's like
that's what I wanted.
That's
how I wanted.
He might be the one to get Roman. Plot twist. Everybody looking at Cody.
What if The Rock comes to do this storyline with Roman for WrestleMania? Solo goes with The Rock.
The
only way that happens is if The Rock is coming back to do work. Yeah, that's if The Rock is signing himself up to do work in the WWE. Granted, his daughter's there now, in NXT. And, probably going to want to be around her more. And now that rumor that Black Adam 2 is not happening, he'll have some other things that, he'll be doing. And if WWE is in the picture, so be it.
Do you expect The Rock to be inducted in the Hall of Fame this coming year? Like him? Why not?
I mean
it's WrestleMania in Hollywood. I mean,
it's Hollywood, but I think, yeah,
they need a major.
I thought about that. Wait a minute, hold on. They might be, and then he get put in. I had to think about that. I forgot where it's at this year. It's in Hollywood. It would probably be the best to do so, and then at the Hall of Fame, he's like, I got one more match in me.
Yeah,
and so that would be that.
We have a late joiner here. It's Super Mike Steele. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, guys? Thank you for having me on the show today. Appreciate it.
Hey, I'm here from San Antonio.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Hey, I just wanted to hop on and talk about my girl winning the big one on NXT, Roxanne Perez, man. I've been following her since she started. I saw her when she was only 16 years old here in San Antonio, locally. And it's awesome just to see where she is now. It's incredible. I know that she won the belt because Mandy had to drop the belt due to photos that were leaked on line that she did something she wasn't supposed to do with WWE. But Roxanne was going to win the title at New Year's Evil, but it was awesome to see her win it at NXT. Just congrats to her. And I'm so proud of her. She's accomplished so much in her young career. And she's the second youngest champion now. So that's pretty awesome.
That video of her on Total Divas is pretty awesome too, though. Her in the stands talking to
No, that was incredible when she was talking to Natalia, and she was so young. It's her, but it's hard to, recognize that that's her at a young age. And they told her that she was going to, follow in their footsteps. And that's exactly what she did. Pretty incredible.
Yeah,
it is. So we just kind of recap what we were talking about. We talked about some of the greatest matches this year. I know you're not here for a long time. So what do you think were some of the best matches of this year?
Let's see. I mean, if I have to say some of the best matches that come to mind, I'll never forget the Money in the Bank match, Liv Morgan cashing in. That was pretty incredible. Heck of a moment. Just Shawn Michaels debuting the NXT Deadline matches with the Iron Survivor. That was different and really awesome. I enjoyed both of those matches. Especially NXT, there was a Ricochet, Carmelo Hayes. It was a North American title match. That one was probably my favorite of the year, besides Cody coming back at WrestleMania, of course, and facing Seth Rollins. Any match that Cody had in his short, stint for now until he gets back and he's healthy, were incredible matches with Seth. It was really good to see him back in WWE and come full circle. I can't wait to see him come back, hopefully a Rumble or a WrestleMania or something, and make another impact.
Yeah, I was going to say, since you mentioned Cody Rhodes, I forgot the match that Cody and Sammy had at Dynamite in January. That was a stellar match, too.
Very nice. Yeah. He pretty much is AEW all the way, and they went a different direction, and he decided to come back to WWE. And I was shocked. I was like, are you serious? He's actually going to come back? Because when you think about years ago, you would never think Cody would ever come back to WWE. And it's pretty incredible, like, how he has developed. He's not Stardust anymore, so that's a good thing. And he kept his real thing, his character in AEW, and I think that's awesome that he still has that, and that he didn't come back and Vince put him with a Stardust thing all over again. That would have been ridiculous.
Yeah. And then other stuff that we talked about, what were some of the biggest stories of the year? Whether, storylines or like just stories in general where the media caught on?
Well, I have to think about my other girl, Saraya, or Saraya, however you guys want to say it. Coming back and actually having a decent match. It was a good match against Dr. Book Baker. I thought it was a great match, and it was good to see her healthy and in the ring. That's another one that I never thought would happen. I thought she was done. Hopefully she'll be able to stay healthy and not have any, serious injuries. But it was good to see, as I call her, Paige, back wrestling. And, it's exciting for all wrestling fans if you've known these superstars for, a long time, to see them come back and make an impact like Daniel Bryan did, Edge did, Daniel Bryanson, Bryan Danielson. Sorry. How many names does he have? No, it just has two. So, it's great to see those things, because you think, well, what's this guy doing? Is he ever going to come back? Is he done? So it was good to see her come back. Definitely.
Yeah. So now you're caught up on where we are now. We're talking about what we are expecting for 2023.
Oh, wow.
So what do you expect in the world of professional wrestling in the new year?
American Nightmare, Universal WWE champion, whatever you want to call it. I'd love to see that. I think that'd be great. I see my girl Roxanne moving up to the main roster eventually. I hope they don't move her up too soon, because I've seen too many superstars, just like this guy back here, Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, Sean Spears. When they move them up too soon, they lose their stardom. People don't really know who they are unless they follow NXT. I see Roman not holding on to the title the whole year, hopefully dropping it in Mania. But who knows? I don't know how long they're going to carry on with Roman with the titles. I'd like to see eventually the titles split up again. I think it's better entertainment when you've got multiple champions, instead of just having one guy that's like, the bully, and nobody ever gets a shot at anything except now the United States Championship and the Intercontinental title. Those are like the main titles now, because Roman has the two combined belts, and nobody can take them away from him. So everybody's going for the intermediate titles, which is okay to see, but it's more entertaining when you see guys going for the main title.
Yeah. So I guess everybody is in agreement here.
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
Late entry on match.
Absolutely.
Last night's Ricochet versus Gunther match was awesome. I gotta admit that.
Yeah, it was hard hitting. Definitely.
Yeah, and didn't Ricochet a couple weeks ago have a match with somebody he had a match in Lucha Underground?
Yeah, it's Santos Escobar. That match was pretty much off the chain. Ricochet landing on his feet after going through a Hurricanrana, just landing on his feet like it was nothing. Of course, those guys are very familiar with each other back to their Lucha Underground days. And to see them, on SmackDown put on, as Sheamus would say, a banger, that's exactly what they did. They stole the show that night, and that's definitely a match to be talking about from years to come.
You see that flow nose?
Awesome.
Flow nose over there. It's the
trying to think what else we can chat about here in professional wrestling. Arlington, do you have anything that you want to add?
Man, I'm ready for another great year of professional wrestling in 2023, and those that are hopefuls that wanting to be in the business, keep fighting and keep doing what you do. Like the local wrestling one, the ones that you get at the halls and things like that. Keep doing your thing. So I hope the best for all that. And as much as we want to complain about everything that's going on in pro wrestling, we got to continue to support it. It's professional wrestling. You get a whole year of it, and you got plenty to choose from. So if you like a connoisseur, like Nicole had mentioned, enjoy it going in 2023.
Yeah. Speaking of the local stuff, how is the local scene there in Houston?
I really hadn't seen a lot. The last that I had heard anything was going down, I think it was Booker T had his promotion. I can't think of it off the cuff, and he was having it featured locally on a couple of Houston stations in town. And I think he was doing some in San Antonio as well. It was a deal that happened at the beginning of the year. So
is it reality wrestling? Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah. We have
because he celebrated Roxanne from that too.
Yeah. He was crying. Poor guy. I swear.
Yeah. And then I know San Antonio has some good local stuff, right?
What are we gonna do with Booker? I mean, I swear he's entertaining, but he's so overboard that it's like, okay, man, come on, let's enjoy the match.
You gotta listen to his radio show.
Oh my gosh,
his radio show that they do in Houston.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. They do it on the ESPN station here, and all they do really is they take the YouTube and just put it on the radio. They clean it up, edit it or whatnot, and they put it on the radio. Yeah, but it's hilarious. I like it. It's actually pretty cool.
He's great. I love Booker T, but sometimes he could just go on a tangent, and you're just like, okay, man. We got people in the ring. Let's talk about that. Let's sucky ducky quack quack everything. Everything. What in the world, man? What does that even mean? No, I'm sorry. But you were talking locally wrestling. Yeah, we got River City Wrestling. They usually have some big stars come in. When I saw Roxanne Perez, Sean Spears made an appearance as well. This is when he was in between. I think he had just signed with AEW, and he made an appearance there, and he was still the perfect 10. It was really cool to meet him, and I met Roxanne, which was really cool because I didn't even know she was going to be huge. And she's really made a name for herself. I'd love to see Sean Spears back in WWE because I'll never get over this right here. I was the guy in San Antonio at TakeOver. Where is it? Come back here. There it is. I was the guy at TakeOver that had all these signs and handed them out, and you just you could see him in the ring, and he looks to the side. He just looks over and he sees all these signs. And what happened was I went to the place locally to get them printed out. The lady left it on there. She was supposed to make 100 copies. She accidentally put too many zeros. So they just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. And she finally came back and went, hadn't that been 100 copies? I was like, that'd been more than 100 copies. And she's like, okay, well, just take the extras. That's fine. So I had about 250 to 300 that I just handed out in my section. I tried to do it in an orderly fashion. With wrestling fans, you don't do anything with orderly fashion. It doesn't go that way. People are running over, grabbing them, just like throwing them all over the place to get them before the show started. So I always remember that. That was really cool. And, I've been able to go to some cool events, and I'm really honored and blessed that I got a chance to do all that. The Royal Rumble here in San Antonio, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, the last two in it. And I was fourth row right there on TV, like for 30 minutes, just, making my cameo. So it was fun. But locally, in San Antonio, that's the place to be for wrestling. You never know who's going to make it to the big leagues. So definitely support your local wrestlers, because that might be your chance to see them before they make it big. And then you can say, hey, I got to meet so-and-so and wow, that's pretty cool. Look at them now.
Yeah, like they're definitely, that could be the next John Cena or, The Rock or The Undertaker, definitely. You also have another one that's pretty big. There's the Mission Pro Wrestling, which is Thunder Rosas, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I haven't been to any of those events. I've been to some of the TNT events. I do believe that they're all pretty much entwined together. Mainly I've been to some RCWs. I've seen EC3, which was cool. They really have some really good stars come in sometimes. They're just like, hey, that's cool. I get a chance to meet them. I get a chance to see them. But I have not been to the Thunder Rosas wrestling yet. So maybe I'll get a chance to do that. I'm on break right now, so I work a lot. But I want to, come join you guys and talk some wrestling.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on, and, me and Nicole look forward to meeting you next year after we move to San Antonio, because, we're Brahma fans. So
nice. Yeah. Let's go. Horns forward. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Arlington's over there. He's hiding his face. He's
That's
probably bullying us right now.
I met him with his XFL hat. I met him with his XFL hat. He was talking all that.
I met him at the Brahma Fan Fest. Right?
Yeah. Yep. That was me and all the electricity.
So, Marcus, in Vegas, is there a big indie wrestling scene there or not really?
Not that I know of.
No, not Vegas. Nope. I lived there for 2 years. There's really nothing. All you get is, anything that's on TV. That's it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Where were we when we went to it was here in Orlando, wasn't it?
Yeah, Buffalo Jim used to run a company there in Vegas called the Buffalo Wrestling promotion. And then Yokozuna had a school there in Las Vegas before he passed away. Yeah.
It'll reduce the inflammation.
Shane, what about you up in New Jersey? I'm sure there's some wrestling stuff up there.
I'm not familiar with many companies and promotions that are out here, but I do know New Jersey and Philly does have a big indie wrestling scene.
Yeah, that's right. You're close to Philly, right? You're like 45 minutes from Philly. I think Philly does have a big wrestling scene.
Yeah, there's a lot in Atlantic City too. I see a lot of shows will go there.
That's cool. So we talked about the year of pro wrestling. So we're all in agreement that 2022 was a pretty decent year in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming back from the COVID days, so it was good to see some really good matches And it seems like the fan support has gotten bigger and bigger since COVID. I mean, in 2021, we were still having a lot of those empty arena matches and stuff. And it's like, hey, when are we going to get back to having the crowds and everything? So it's good. I think in 2022, you had some really good rivalries. You had the beginning of the Judgment Day, you know, and then that took a weird turn. Nobody really understood that. But now if you watch them now, you're just kind of like, okay, this is like a dark DX. That's the way I look at it. You know, they're just, you know, kind of just having fun and being themselves, even though it's, you know, it's kind of dark.
Group.
What'd you say?
Rhea's the MVP of that group.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? She might as well be the leader. I mean, she's the one.
She was the leader until
much.
Everybody talked Finn Balor up so damn much. Like, why can't a woman run a faction? Hello,
no, they can.
Rhea Ripley, like, come on.
Of course, yeah. Instead of just being a manager or something, I agree.
I got a little angry there for a second.
Oh, well,
Arlington.
If women are going to hit wrestlers in the ring, they should get hit back.
Hey, like,
whoa,
you know
damn.
what? I agree 100%. And you know what? Rhea could hold her own.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah,
if they can hit, you can hit back. Mia Yim can take a hit.
Because if China could do it, then Rhea can do it. And then there's so many other, like Beth Phoenix could do it. So let's go with these people who are, you know, relatively like powerhouses in the ring. Let's let them run factions.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind
what?
Intergender wrestling even.
Yeah. Well, you had that mixed tag challenge thing. That was kind of fun to watch, even though, you know, it wasn't really guys fighting the girls. But there were moments. There were moments where Asuka would just beat the hell out of somebody, and you know, it didn't matter if it was a guy or a girl, and she just beat him up. So I mean, why not? If you remember the Attitude Era, and you had Trish Stratus and Lita against Christian and Chris Jericho. I mean, that was something where people are just kind of like, what's going on here? Is this really happening? So, I mean, it was exciting. I was just really into the match. Like, oh, wow, they just knocked him down. What the heck?
Nia Jax took RKO. Remember some years ago at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
You want to know who else could go with the men? I mean, back in her day, Ivory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She had a mean streak for days.
She was tough.
She was scary.
You want to talk about the Attitude Era when Stone Cold and Triple H were just beating up the Hardys and Lita. She was getting smacked with steel chairs by guys. And it was just kind of like, whoa, are we doing this? Are you serious? So
now that's kind of overboard. You know what I mean? You know, because I know that, and they have a certain type of material they put on the chairs and whatnot, where they get steel chairs and they can take them. But my thing is, if you're gonna get smacked around, you got to get smacked back. You know what I mean? You got to get a phenomenal forearm or something, man. Because I know that was a minute where Rhea was slapping around AJ Styles, and if it wasn't for Mia Yim returning, I think she would have got a phenomenal forearm for AJ.
But I think she should have. If she can dish it out, then she should be able to take it. And if that's what we're going to do, and I don't want to be politically like this, but if you think about when we're going to have openly trans people working on the circuit, then we also need to look at the differences in body type as well. Because when you're born a certain gender, you're always going to have the tendency to, no matter how much hormone replacement, there's going to be this thing. So when you have Nyla Rose, like she's a force too. Yeah. So you have her in the ring with women, and she wasn't born a woman. I mean, granted, she's gone through whatever replacement, but also you have to kind of see, like, if there are women that can go with her, then we should be able to come head to head with men.
I think we're almost there. I think it's a big filling out process where you got to see how the fans are going to react. when you have these things happen. Like, okay, Rhea slammed what's his name, Luke Gallows, right? Slammed him. People went crazy because it's like she can slam him. People didn't know that she could actually pick him up. So the girls out there are breaking barriers. I mean, Bianca Belair, she's one of those that could go too. She could pick up a guy. Are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, she could pick me up. I know that. Jeez.
I mean,
I was gonna say Rhea can pick me up too.
Really,
wink, wink.
Yeah, well, there you go. Rhea could pick us both up at the same time. That's what I think.
I don't care. Thanks. But my point to this is when Rhea starts the entire thing, like she took Judgment Day kind of away from Edge. And she was the figurehead for a long time before Finn Balor really joined, like before he was like the mouthpiece. And so then he just kind of took over as like the leader of when did that happen? Like,
well, they had said that there was no leader. They had said there was no leader. But then once they started feuding with the OC, AJ Styles is the leader. So
they had to have a leader. And
well,
why didn't Rhea? That's what makes me mad, though. It's like she was the mouthpiece. She was running the show.
They have that history. You're talking about Finn Balor and AJ Styles that started the Bullet Club back in Japan. You're talking about two of the greatest of all time. And Rhea Ripley is amazing, but she has not even hit her full potential. We're talking about two first ballot Hall of Famers. So they're going to have to be leaders of their group. They have to. That's just the way it is.
I can see your point of view, but I don't have to like it.
No, you don't have to like it. I understand that. And I think Rhea Ripley is the most incredible female athlete on the roster. She had a match against Roxanne Perez, and Perez got like 2 moves in. That was it. It was a squash match. Okay. And we're talking about the current NXT women's champion that got squashed by Rhea Ripley.
I mean,
of course, she is a family.
You're speaking the truth. I get it. I know. I know why there's a story there. It's just I don't have to like it. Like I have to be a little angry about it because it's like WWE does this. Like he does it to all women in their everything in their entire show. Like
I think it's history. It's the history. Like people are used to that. Of course, we're breaking barriers and the women are starting to, not starting, they've been main eventing. They've been putting on phenomenal, no pun intended, really, matches, WrestleMania, stealing the show, everything. So, they are taking over and in certain areas. But there's the old school, ones like, there's Triple H, there's Shawn Michaels, and there's a lot of them back there. It's just like the guys were the ones leading the group kind of thing. DX, Shawn Michaels led the group. DX, Triple H led the group, and he had NWO, he had Hogan leading the group. So it would be cool to have a female leading a faction. And I think we're there. I think we're going to see that real soon. I really think we are.
Rhea is this version of China, if you think about it.
Yes. No, she's 2.0 or 3.0 if you're talking Beth Phoenix is 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Rhea Ripley, what can you say about her? Like when you say the name Rhea Ripley, if you don't know who I'm talking about, you should, because she's the best female on the roster. Okay, hands down. You've got Bianca, she's right up there as well, but Rhea should have the title. She should have the title.
She should get a title reign. I'm thinking that they need to switch. Don't switch it so much that it's doesn't have relevance, but switch it enough that everybody has a little bit of a reign to like harken back to.
Yeah. The worst thing in professional wrestling is when you treat the title as a hot potato.
24/7 championship.
TNT championship.
Oh my gosh, what are we talking? What was the title that they were doing that with at one point? United States Championship, when they'd have the open challenges sometimes, and like what Cena was doing it, AJ Styles was doing it. Sometimes they'd lose the title, but they get it right back. I mean, I like the concept, but it's just too much. It's too much. It's like, it's like I wish I had more time to join you guys, but maybe another time because I got to get back to work so I don't get fired. So thank you guys for having me. Scoop Mike Steele. Let me know when the next one is. I had a great time, guys. Hope to do it again. And, thank you so much. See you next time, guys.
Take care, man. It was nice having you. I love the belts behind you there.
Yeah, I had to do that. I was like, where am I going to sit by? What am I going to do? Yeah, so we got the Money in the Bank briefcase. We go all the way down, and the women's championships down there too.
Nice.
Right there.
Very nice.
That one's signed by Lita and Trish Stratus. Then I got the NXT title signed by where are we? There we go. Signed by Kevin Owens. WWE Championship signed by Edge and Jeff Hardy back when they were feuding for it. And funny enough, the ECW title is signed by EC3. I know that makes no sense, but I just was like, yeah, fuck yeah, why not? So
yeah, well, I have I took a picture and I showed Arlington a couple weeks ago. I have the Smoking Skull belt signed by over like 30 people, and
wow.
Like, AJ Styles is on there. The Young Bucks signed it. The Hardys signed it. Kenny Omega signed it. So I have tons.
Young Bucks signed it at an ROH event you were at, right?
That's incredible right there. And the top one, I don't know if you see the gold belt, but Goldberg signed that one. Yeah. So the WCW Championship, that's his belt. Yeah. He when I met him, he's like, when did you take this from me? I was like, sorry, sir, here, take your belt back. Just sign it for me. So yeah.
Brian got me Chris Benoit's autograph. I gotta find it though.
Oh wow, that's a keepsake right there.
I still have it.
Yeah, me and Marcus used to go to WCW events in Vegas in high school. So
yeah, he got me.
All right, well, I gotta go back to work, guys. So thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Orange forward, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, Marcus. Go ahead. You want to tell a story when we went to Halloween Havoc?
Where did everybody go? We're the only faces again.
Okay. Oh, I had somebody come to my door. I had UPS come to my door, so I had to get off the camera and all that.
Yeah, I had to handle something personal real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Marcus, we went to, what was it, the Halloween Havoc, right? Was that the one with Hogan and the Warrior?
I think so. 96?
Wow.
I think.
Yeah, it was Halloween Havoc 98, I think it was.
Wow.
96.
Yeah.
I wasn't even
crazy.
96. Yeah, 98.
I can't even think about that. Like, that's the year I graduated from high school. Well, 98, not 96. I'm not that old.
It was 98. I wasn't in Vegas at 96. I was still in 7th and 8th grade at 96.
Me too.
Yep, I was a freshman in 96. No, I wasn't. I was a sophomore.
I was a freshman in 95.
Wow.
If it makes you guys feel any better, I was a freshman in 2016.
Remember he was born.
I feel like he's a killjoy over here. He's like, hey, by the way.
Wait a minute. You said 2016?
Man.
Bro, I was going to college when you No, I was going to college when you were born. That's what I was.
2002.
My goodness. I'm headed to college. Good grief. You talking about, man, I'm just graduating high school.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask one more thing of you guys here, just because I think it's fun. Is there a dream match that you would love to see? It could be any wrestler from now or from the past, or they could be dead, living. If you were the booker, what would that dream match be? And I'll start with you, Arlington.
Sting versus The Undertaker.
What, like 1990?
I wanted Dark Sting versus Ministry of Darkness Undertaker.
Nice.
Wow. That would be an incredible match.
What about you, Marcus?
You know, mine got to consist of Shawn Michaels. I fangirl over him. My bad. But Shawn Michaels and
fangirl. Why fangirl?
Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles would be a class.
Yes,
it would. It would.
In their prime. Don't do it now.
I wish Sting Undertaker 2001 would have been, when WCW got acquired by WWE, if they would have did it then. But nobody wanted to lose, so that wouldn't have been the problem.
And Sting and Taker, they both wanted it, but Vince wasn't going to do it.
No, and it was going to do it in Texas. They was going to do it in Houston. That's both of them from Texas, so that would have been a Texas-sized match. And plus, at the time, Undertaker, they weren't going to let him they weren't going to let Sting come in and take over the street.
No. Terry says he would have want Brett and Owen one more time.
Wow. That'd have been something.
Been Owen just one more time for anything. Like, I think he was pretty underrated.
He was about to take off.
He didn't have time.
The Shawn Michaels Undertaker match wouldn't be bad to see again.
Yeah.
I think I would want to see like both of them in their prime together though. Like not like breaking the streak or retirement or anything like that. Like both of them in their prime. Like
the Hell in a Cell match. That match.
I have two matches that I would love to see. The first one would be MJF and Piper. Like Piper in his prime, like when he took the coconut over Snuka's head, like that Piper against this version of MJF. Like
the promotion for that match was amazing.
And then the next one, and this would have to happen at WrestleMania: AJ Styles, Finn, and Kenny Omega. That match, I think that match would be fire.
Bullet Club.
It would be definitely a surprise, though, for sure, with Kenny Omega saying, "I'm going jumping to WWE."
I think we may see Omega go to WWE next year.
Now that's a bold prediction.
I don't know. Would he break up the Elite? Would he end that run?
The Bucks go with him.
Okay, let's do this prediction.
Because Paul has had conversations with them, and the Bucks didn't deny it.
But having a conversation is different than making a decision that you're going to move from someplace where you're the top person to starting all over again. Like,
well, hold on, think about it. The Bucks and the Usos. What kind of match would that be? Come on now. See, Arlington agrees.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't be, but I'm just saying
the Elite versus the New Day. It's been.
Do you think they would come together and just do one big pay-per-view?
You talking about both sides?
Yeah,
AEW.
In this business, never say never.
Never say never, because there's lots of things we said that would never happen. And
do a super card. I mean, nobody thought that AEW would jump off, but here we are.
They always talk about the forbidden door. They open that big forbidden door.
Well, and you've got a lot of Japanese wrestlers coming. They're showing up on WWE now, where they hadn't been before. I don't know if they got signed, but right? Yeah. I'm not imagining this, am I?
No,
am I talking about my ass, or did it really happen?
It's mostly the Japanese females coming over to wrestle for the WWE, but then you have a lot of the New Japan people coming to AEW. But yeah,
they don't know each other. They all hang out with each other. I mean,
Sting and Edge.
All it takes is for somebody to call somebody out on one network and then let the ball roll from there.
Brighton said Sting and Edge.
At their points
Now. I don't know.
No.
Like, Edge can still go.
Sting can still move for 77.
Can still move.
He's not 70.
Oh no!
I mean, he
Sometimes
ain't
it
that
feels like
far
they're
off.
100 because they've been around forever. But
I mean, Sting is jumping off of, balconies
Sting
and
is
stuff.
crazy.
But
But
that's like
we know that.
17 tables stacked on one, basically making a 2-foot jump and just falling the rest of the way. So, still amazing for 88 years old. But
I'm gonna put one out here right now: Eddie Guerrero versus AJ Styles.
That would have
Definitely
been
would have been entertaining. It
Yeah.
definitely would be entertaining.
that would have been amazing.
That definitely would be entertaining. Are we
Yeah.
talking WWE AJ Styles or Impact AJ Styles?
I'm gonna say Impact AJ Styles.
and WCW.
Yeah, WCW.
WCW Eddie Guerrero. Oh, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
would be-
that
that'd be
would be
fantastic.
like an X division type match.
Yes. And probably would have got 5 stars from Dave Meltzer.
Hey, what about this one? Chris Jericho, right towards the end of WCW when he jumped over to Raw against Mr. Perfect.
So Y2J era, that era, Jericho
Yeah.
versus Mr. Perfect, Intercontinental Mr. Perfect.
Yes.
That'd be epic. Mr. Perfect will win though, but
Yeah. I was say Mr. Perfect gonna beat Jericho.
yeah.
Pretty handily too.
So to talk about females in wrestling, though, so like
Let's
I
go.
think like women wrestling would be Lita and Thunder Rosa,
Mm.
or Lita and Britt Baker, like because they could all wrestle. Like that would be the phenomenal 3-way that I would love to see.
I would have loved Bianca Belair to go against Jazz.
Oh.
Wow, yeah.
Jazz don't get enough credit that what she was able to do in women's wrestling. So
She was tough. She
strong.
still is tough.
She was.
I would have
good.
loved for her and then the tussle.
I want to say her and Ivory were like unsung heroes of the Attitude Era, like as far as women's wrestling were concerned, because they were the top of the women's division, but they were overlooked, I think, by both
Because they
male
could actually wrestle.
too.
Yeah.
But China was running with the big boys, so like all that time, I feel like the only woman that people really saw that weren't like tits and ass was China.
Yeah.
Like
And then,
everybody else was kind of like backburnered.
and then they came out with that scary thing that kind of backfired called Nicole Bass.
Which one was she?
She was that big muscular woman that came like in
Yeah, like
in
no
a
offense, but she had like the Shaq eyes. No offense to Shaq.
I don't remember this one.
Yeah, she had blonde hair. She was a bodybuilder, super huge.
She was on Howard Stern. They asked her if she was a guy, I think, before.
Karma
There you go.
was another miscue. I wish they would have had an Awesome Kong.
Yeah.
Let me go by her what everybody remember her as. But Awesome Kong had I would have loved her in China to go at it if she was still alive.
And then she's retired now, but she does a food truck. She was also from Impact with Awesome Kong.
Gail Kim.
Well, no, OBD. I think. What's her name?
I know who you're talking
she
about.
She went by the 3 letters. ODB, I think. I think that's what she was called.
Yeah, I think it was ODB.
AJ Lee would be cool right now. Like
AJ Lee.
Yeah.
And
AJ
Lita.
Lee, yeah.
I said that'd be a good fantasy match. I guess it's a fantasy now because we don't know if it's coming to light, but The Rock and Roman would be nice.
Yeah.
If you put, shoot, I would do it this way. I would put Corporation Rock against Bloodline Roman.
Oh, okay. I kind of remember her.
That's
but
instant ratings right there.
she looks like China. You know how like
How'd it do? They try to
that
give
jawline kind of like she was scary.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, she was giant.
I want to say Val Venus brought her in, I think.
I forgot who. She was somebody's bodyguard, wasn't she, or something like that, wasn't she?
Yeah, maybe she was like with Billy Gunn or something. I don't remember it. All I know, it was like towards the end of the Attitude Era.
1993. She was a valet.
On Howard Stern.
See, I
She
told you.
was ECW trained. She was on soap operas too. What?
Them ECW days used to be legendary. Like staying up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it. Classic.
Because that was the only way you were gonna be able to watch them was past midnight, and the only way
you
you
used to go like super late.
because that was the only way they were gonna be able to get on TV.
Oh yeah, she had an alliance with Ivory. I do remember now.
What was that? ECW on TNN.
Oh yeah, Spike TV.
Right.
Mankind versus Abyss. Oh man.
Person. Abyss was
I would have
big.
said Mankind versus Bray Wyatt.
Oh, that would have been kind of interesting.
Oh
I would like to see the promos for that match, like the mind games they'll play. That'd be
yeah,
good.
it's got to be the
Looks great.
Mankind that pulls his hair out, not the one with the suit and the tie. No, not that.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Boiler
not
Room.
that one.
Gotta be Boiler Room Mankind.
Yes.
Which Bray though?
The one currently, the one with the Firefly Funhouse, because he morphs into different characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Not the Louisiana swamp dude.
That was off that one movie. I can't think of the movie.
Delirious.
No,
His promos under that character I thought were really good though.
I can't think of the dude. The
Someone
movie.
follow the buzzards.
Yeah, that one came out the Hawaiian shirts.
Follow the buzzard. I mean, probably one of the best. Since you're talking about it, one of the best from Bray Wyatt was honestly, the one with Cena that he did, the storyline. You know,
that cinematic thing that they did where
They got-
like Cena was
oh
in the
man,
field.
he had two good storylines with that one. Because everybody thought that match was the end of Cena, like for good. The way that Bray finished him off, cinematically, I thought that was literally ending John Cena's career in WWE.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But then he came back, so
Arlington, do you remember when you became a fan of pro wrestling?
I have to say, I honestly started really watching it I used to watch it like part-time, like 96, 97, but I really started delving into it in 99. But I always go back and watch the classic stuff. So, and I had I had the Hulk Hogan Rockin' Wrestling. I think that was the cartoon back in the day. I used to watch that.
Oh man.
That was
So if you want to go back, being a wrestling fan, I got to go back to about 89, 90. You know, just kind of keeping up and watching. You know, I would go outside and stuff, but then I was watching the Saturday wrestling matches. Then, like when they started getting to the pay-per-views and whatnot, that was later on, like when I got into high school. So that's how back I can go.
Yeah. I go back to the first WrestleMania.
Wow.
Yeah.
my first record, like NWA days, like old Flair, like
Saturday night.
My grandma got me. It's so funny. My grandma got me into wrestling.
Yeah. It was Flair and Dusty Rhodes, right?
Yeah, Flair, Ron Simmons when he beat Vader.
Oh yeah, Butch Reed was his partner.
Yeah, he had the purple sweatpants and the white and the all whites.
Yeah.
It was the days.
And
So
I remember Shane, you got into wrestling pretty young, right? I think I started you watching wrestling.
Yeah, you did. I remember when I was probably like 5, 6. We'd sit down every Monday and watch Raw.
Yeah.
I was old.
Your dad had like every wrestling figure, dude. Like,
And the kids still have them today.
Oh yeah, there's still I know there's like a huge bin of them that they have. I remember I had it, and then now they have it.
So
if
now,
you guys don't want that bin, you can send it to me. I'm just saying. Christmas
well,
is
some of them have met their untimely end.
Yeah.
They've lost arms and legs, and some of them don't even have faces anymore. So yeah, they've been well loved.
Oh,
This one's good.
This is a good one.
Oh wow. FTR against 85 Arn Tully.
That's a banger match right there.
That'd be an interesting, very interesting match.
Steiner Brothers versus the Usos. The WCW Steiner Brothers. Like,
I don't know.
No, because the Usos are still kind of too flippy floppy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
The Steiner Brothers are my favorite tag team ever because they had the mission.
I would put the Steiners against FTR then if you're gonna do something like that.
Yeah.
I want like 95, no, 90, 97 Hardy Boys against Darby Allin and anybody. Like anybody who's equal. Like I don't know, somebody that can do the moves. It's a little bit crazy.
Ricochet.
Maybe Ricochet or even Jungle Boy. Like I feel like Jungle Boy is kind of coming into his own. Like and Jungle Boy is one of those guys who is, I think, feels like he needs to showcase all of the things he can do. And so why not take it to the limit?
Why not Edge and Christian versus the Bucks?
Like Edge and Christian before they were
the 5 second, like
5 second pose.
The Brood.
Like Edge and Christian from that first triple threat with the Hardys and Dudleys.
Oh man, that match! I gotta go back and watch that match. Oh man,
WrestleMania 2000, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh man, that spear off the line.
WrestleMania 2000, which was
okay.
WrestleMania 18. So that was
16, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe it was 16. Oh yeah, because 17 was The Rock and Austin, right?
Right. I mean, even that one still had one of the greatest tag team ladder matches ever, because that was still the same night Edge and Christian won the belt. Right. I mean, they won it like back-to-back years. That's what the crazy part about it was. I think that match was.
Yeah, that was 16 because 18 was Hogan and The Rock. Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question for you. Biggest pop of the year.
Biggest pop of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, Steve Austin at 18.
Cody, when he first came out.
American Nightmare.
That was big too.
I think that Cody Vader, the elevator that came up and because I was like, wait, no.
Dang.
I was
Y'all kind of took the ones I had. Shoot.
Edge.
Yeah, it's got to be Edge at this point.
For me, that was like my 20-year-old self went, he's back. I just, because I have been an Edge fan since 19 something or another.
97, 98, probably.
I mean, like, I was a senior in high school. So I was probably 1997, 98. Because that's when I met Mike and we were going to events. And I was like sitting at the kitchen table making signs that he would never see because I was sitting in the nosebleed section. You know, like I knew he'd never see it, but I wanted to be all sparkly and like I know I took a picture of me with that sign too. Like I know I did, but there's a lot of love there.
You said Edge, right, Nicole? I'll say Cena when he showed up at Money in the Bank.
That was a pretty big pop too.
Or was that last year? That was last year when that happened, wasn't it?
That might have been last.
That was last year. Never mind.
When did
was Punk's pop at AEW?
That was this year
This year? Okay, I couldn't remember.
at the United Center when they went to the
that was
United
last
Center.
year in
Oh
August.
yeah, because it was in August.
Oh, okay. Man.
Did Becky Lynch get a loud pop?
She did.
Yeah. She
At
came-
SummerSlam.
She did.
Maybe because
But that was last year, though, wasn't it?
I immediately booed her after she won the title back in 15 friggin'
because it
seconds.
was stupid.
That was last year she did that because
Yeah.
that's when she became big time back.
what about
She came back again this year, right? After the bear.
Right. She did.
She
come
came
back.
back again, right? Recently.
what about just a couple
When she
days ago
joined-
with Action
During
Andretti?
War Game.
Oh, yeah. When Action Andretti beat Jericho, that was a loud pop.
Mm.
Yeah, they said that Jericho got beat by a jobber. Mm-hmm.
How big was the pop when MJF won the belt? Was that loud?
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. Can't remember.
It wasn't the Road Warrior pop. I still think today that Steve Austin coming out at WrestleMania was the biggest pop this year.
Even when they thought they were doing the interview, when they actually realized they was gonna have a match, the crowd went wild. I know I did. I was in my room losing it.
And that was what, night one, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He even got a big pop when he came out night too.
Bray Wyatt.
Oh, and that's right. When he stunned Pat McAfee.
That Bray Wyatt pop was
I
big.
want to say Pat McAfee had a big pop this year when he came out to what is that song at WrestleMania? 7 Army Nation.
When he was
Okay,
in the
I know what
bubble?
you mean.
Yeah, he
White
had
Nation Army.
he had the cheerleaders
Oh, the cheerleaders.
come out.
Were they popping for Pat McAfee or the cheerleaders?
Yeah, man. When
He
had the whole crowd singing the damn song.
but is that a pop? Really? Like, because everybody sings the "Carry On My Wayward Son" for the. Are we singing it because that's the song everybody knows? It's like a anthem of the world, or is it because everybody knows the song?
Well, you got to thank Supernatural for making that song relevant again.
It had always been relevant.
It charted again
Oh,
when
yeah,
it
it
became.
chatted again when it became their song. I get it. I see. Anyways, listen. That's all I listened to when I was when I was growing up was if it wasn't Zeppelin or some
Or CCR
70s
or-
band like CCR or Red or whatever, like it wasn't played in my house. Like it was a rule. Like it was classic rock or nothing.
It's totally off topic. It just popped up on my phone. Y'all mean to tell me the Colts was up 33-0 on the Vikings and they let them come back?
The Colts and the Vikings. I don't know. I don't. Pay.
No,
Yeah,
Hey,
going
my
into
phone-
overtime right now, 36-36.
Holy cow!
They said the Vikings just came back from a 33-point deficit and the score was 33-36.
Only the Colts.
Only goal.
I have no like
My-
understanding of
people
where
think
people
the
are in
Vikings are
standings.
going to go to the Super Bowl and win it.
I
this
don't.
year.
of the standings of NFL teams like right now because like all I can care about is
Dude.
the XFL or
Matt
college.
Ryan. Oh my God,
I have-
Matt Ryan's only thrown for 158 yards.
I got to go look at my fantasy football in a minute.
Man, I got Justin Jefferson. I'm sitting good.
My
Well,
bad.
this has been a fun show. We're gonna let everybody go, but Arlington, I love having you on here, and we'll have to get you on again. Next year we'll talk some movies and TV or whatever you want to talk about, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you want to plug your show once again, and maybe since this is our last show, you want to kind of give your final wishes for 2022.
I'm hoping. Are you talking about wrestling wise or just period?
Just anything you want to put out there. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Oh, no doubt. Definitely hope that you guys tune into the X Fan Show on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. We're going all the way up until the end of the year, and have a great rest of 2022, and looking forward to greater things happening in 2023. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all.
Yeah. Marcus?
Well, I just want to tell everybody, have a blessed new year, blessed rest of this year, and 14 more days. Watch Michigan beat TCU. Go Blue.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
And then please check out Marcus's Instagram for his action figure photography. It is really, really
That's
good.
awesome.
What is it again?
Bean Figures 2.
Bean Figures 2.
Page, but they blocked me on that one, so I had to make another one. So it's up.
And then, of course, Shane, are you still doing your racing network with your buddies?
Yes. Well, not really. We don't broadcast
Yes,
much.
not
on
really.
YouTube.
Yeah. I think Shane, what is it? NASCAR, or is it like F1 racing that you do?
We mainly do NASCAR on iRacing, which is simulator.
Cool.
Don't do it much anymore though.
Yeah. The commentary that you guys have is hilarious. So.
Oh yes, it's great.
Yeah. I need to check that out.
And what was Marcus's
Like
IG?
he's the dry man over here. Like,
I don't know if I can leave. Am I still on?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. I can read it off now. I can go to mine. It's Bean Figures 2.
Bean Figures 2.
Bean Figures 2. Okay. All right.
you should put it in the chat.
I go and check it out.
Yeah, put it.
So
I would. I knew how
are
to
we
do it.
signing off or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Go ahead and type it in. You're fast.
Hey, Terry said he can't find an XFL team. He's still undecided who he's gonna go with. Where is he located?
He's in Ireland.
Dang.
Ooh. Just say the whole XFL then.
I'm kind of torn though, because I'm a Cincinnati Bengal fan, and the coach for the Vipers is a Pittsburgh guy, and then the coach for the Birmingham is a Pittsburgh guy. So I don't know who to vote for. Like, I don't know.
Still undecided who's to.
I think I'm gonna go with the Texas team. I don't know.
You got 3 to choose from. I mean, I got to deal with the Roughnecks, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And Marcus, you live in Vegas, but you don't know if you can be a Vegas Vipers fan.
It's that Pittsburgh and Bengals. It don't equal out. It's like a Michigan Ohio State thing. It don't equal out.
Okay, so I really hope that Georgia wins. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
I want Georgia to win because then we would be solidified as the best team in the league.
I'm gonna go buy a Bulldog.
Yes, if Georgia beats Ohio and then Michigan beats TCU, then it's going to be
Georgia, Michigan, and then if Michigan wins,
then Michigan is
the
the
best college team, and it would redeem us.
If Michigan wins, I would get kicked off Facebook because I was talking so much.
You know what? I'm talking a lot of smack too because I'm like, I have not paid attention to Michigan football for a long time because it's so disappointing. It's like, oh my God, we lost again. Like, how do you come back from that? But
you don't know.
I mean, I still wear my colors.
Oh,
the flag is still flying in my classroom. You know, it's like, well.
Arlington, you want to throw out your college team?
He's a Longhorn.
Oh my God, neither, man. No, I am not. Just because I'm down here in Texas does not mean I'm a Longhorn fan. My teams are horrible. So for college basketball, I've always been a Carolina Tar Heel fan for the longest. Always. And for football, and I really don't care too much, but I'll definitely follow what goes on in the SEC.
Like
I follow it a lot.
Who?
Well, until the new year, it's time to ring that
You're a
bell.
Michigan Wolverine. You're a Michigan Wolverine honorary. Go blue.
Go blue.
If I had to go,
I have to end the broadcast.
So ridiculous.